Welcome back, everyone. So we got a huge amount of information dropped today and a trailer for Last Epoch 1.1, but I won't drag this out for too long. Let's have a look at the trailer and then let's go through a few things that we just got on the forum post around changes that are coming in the 1.1 update that you can see in front of you. Anyway, enjoy.
You remind me of him, Traveler. It's that same unwavering hope that led us straight into oblivion. And now, you're part of a war that you don't fully understand. I tried to warn you, to spare you, but his eyes are upon you now. There is no time left, no refuge, no hope. His harbingers are coming.
Okay, so with the release of the trailer came a fair bit of information that got dumped onto the website, on the forums in particular, and I'll leave a link in the description to that. But yeah, we've got some information about Evade, Nemesis, Harbingers of the Forgotten, Pinnacle Bosses, boss defenses, new glyphs being added, the Harbinger's Needle, and some new uniques. So let's talk about these quickly. Okay, so obviously for evade mechanics, this is the ever-awaited dodge roll mechanic that's being added into the game. The way that it works, all characters will have evade available from level 1, with a default of 2 charges being available and a 4-second cooldown. As your character increases, so will the amount of your evade. And what I noticed is this will also have an effect with uniques as well, in particular new uniques, which we'll look at very shortly. But yeah, overall, this sort of keeps the game up to current scale with the way that, you know, every other ARPG is coming out with. Even Grim Dawn has dodge roll mechanics now. So yeah, it's not too bad. So these are the uniques that I was talking about just there. So obviously we get cooldown recovery for evade and things like that moving forwards, more evade charges. But this is the coolest thing that I was looking at earlier. So what we can see here is a ring that literally gives you summon crab when you evade, which looks absolutely mental, and I'm super keen for it, and I already want to play a build with it. But yeah, anyway, it looks really good. The evade mechanic looks like they're actually weaponizing the evade, which a lot of other games aren't really doing. So this could only be a good change to the game. It's going to definitely make fighting bosses a hell of a lot easier as well. Okay, so the Nemesis System is a new random encounter system you will encounter during Harbingers of Ruin, which is I guess the cycle mechanic, if we want to call it that. While 1.1's primary focus was around the Pinnacle Boss systems, many people or players wanted to take some time to reach that point in time. This is obviously introducing sort of sub-level bosses into the game. While traveling through Eterra during both the campaign and Monolith of Faith, you will randomly come across new encounters called Nemesis or Nemesis. Upon spotting one of these powerful warriors slain by Harbinger with its armor circling around its body, you will be provided an opportunity to add more loot to your horde. So it's similar to the exiled mages that exist in Last Epoch, so very similar system, but hopefully should be pretty chunkier and harder to beat. And obviously with some of the changes coming to the game, this should be pretty cool. We've also got a new unique here, which is Egg of the Forgotten, and then it basically converts into a random unique item if dropped or empowered. So it's sort of like a Togepi for Last Epoch, which is pretty cool. I like that feature. Okay, so Harbingers and the Forgotten Knight. So this is essentially the heart of the new Pinnacle Boss system that they're adding into the game. To gain access to the new Pinnacle Bosses, you will need to challenge and defeat the Harbingers. So I'd say you need to challenge and defeat so many Harbingers to be able to access the Pinnacles, or potentially a number of different types of Harbingers. These new bosses can be found deep within the Monolith of Faith, As you progress corruption in different timelines, you'll be able to encounter new Harbingers to progress your ranks with the Forgotten Knights. So this goes across the levels of corruption, so most likely the pinnacles will wind up across progression of your corruption progression. It actually rebuilds the endgame in quite a significant way. The Harbingers also gain the abilities from the timelines boss, bringing unique considerations in each of the 10 timelines. So indicative of the timeline you fight, that'll dictate how the Harbinger reacts with you as well. So after defeating your first Harbinger, you will then also be able to gain favor with the Forgotten Knights faction. You will find the Forgotten Knight herself in the camp upon the Shattered Road. Here you will learn of the Harbingers and Orenthia's history. With the advice of Orenthia, you'll be able to set out on your task to track down an end which has caused her to all but lose hope completely. Okay, and it looks like we've also got faction rewards as well as a result of that for the Forgotten Knights, which is pretty cool. So something else to achieve as you play through. So once you beat the 10 Harbingers throughout the throughout your corruption leveling and whatnot and monoliths, you'll encounter the Pinnacle Boss. You can make your way to the portal beyond the Shattered Road, place an eye upon the altar, and you will be pulled into the Harbinger's domain. Within this domain, you will face off against the leader of the Harbingers and servant of Ouroboros, Aberoth. So the new boss's name is Aberoth. Your fight will take you through the 4 eras, each presenting unique arena mechanics and empowering Aberoth. So it's a 4-tier fight from what I can see here. It's going to be an absolutely nightmare fight, and yeah, if you're not an experienced player, you're probably going to get absolutely stomped. With the release of patch 1.1, Aberoth will only be able to be challenged in the online cycle, so you won't be able to play this in the offline cycle initially. So there'll be a short delay between accessing this boss between the online and the offline. That's the only caveat. Okay, so the last thing I'll comment on is we're getting new uniques, and this in particular looks like Pinnacle Boss drops. So the Event Horizon looks like a really cool like single hit big hammer build for lightning builds, in particular on the Shaman. Wall of Nothing, which basically gives you a chance to take 0 damage when hit. No wonder if that could be scaled. Aberoth's command completely converts Void Cleave, and this will be really good for Void Knight AoE builds. And Phase Point synergizes with Dodge Roll to give you Dust Shroud and Black Arrow on dodge, which looks like it's like a Void Arrow effect as well, which will increase damage for marksman builds that use Void or Void Powered Arrow skill sets. Overall, this cycle announcement's looking pretty good, and we haven't even seen the detailed patch notes yet, so there's probably a ton of other changes that we're not even aware of that are going to be game-changing and are going to make the game feel a lot better. Hopefully, I guess the biggest comment I've seen is the floatiness of some of the combat, in particular melee. I hope they address that, and overall it should be a really good game, or it should be a really good patch or expansion. It's definitely a lot of content. Okay, so if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and sub to the channel. Also, don't forget to follow the Twitch. And yeah, I'll be releasing more information as we get more on Last Epoch at this stage. I'm relatively across the game these days. And yeah, I'll be probably releasing a few more things as we go into the cycle launch as well. Anyway, I'll see you guys later and have a good one.